Hello, welcome to Ascension Theory. My name is Laurel, and today I'm bringing a message about the pandemic. So first, let me tell you that a few weeks ago, when the pandemic first started, I did a reading. I read tarot, and it was an interesting message. It said that what we're all going through is going to be two parts. The first part was about flexibility. Thought that was interesting. And the second part was about integrity. And integrity meaning that there was going to come a choice point where we were going to be tested on choosing with integrity. So I wanted to put that message out when it came through, but I didn't get to it. So today I did some automatic writing. And I got a message from Saturn. Now, as far as I know, I've never channeled Saturn before. And Saturn is, in Greek mythology, it was Kronos. Saturn rules the earth. To me, in the tarot, the Emperor card is Saturn. So I'm just going to read to you what came through today. It starts out, I was talking about the other video that I wanted to make that I didn't make, the other reading. And it's very quickly turned into a message from Saturn. And you will hear, pretty short in, that the wording changes from third perspective to first perspective. So when I'm saying I, it's the message directly. Okay? So the prior reading was about the pandemic. It was a lesson from Saturn that there will be two parts. The first was about flexibility, and the second is about integrity. So the second is going to manifest as choice points. And when I'm done telling you this, we're going to do a reading for further messages, okay? But this, so here's where I said Saturn. Who is Saturn? Saturn is our God, although many think of him, and when I said him, I wanted to be politically correct, and it was very clearly him. Saturn is definitely masculine. Many think of him more as a devil. Thinking of him in this way is similar to how a toddler thinks about their parent when the parent sets boundaries and enforces them. Saturn is no nonsense. He's a loving parent who enforces boundaries despite the tantrum of their beloved child. Saturn is not judging. This whole idea of a judging, punishing God is an immature conclusion, one that's completely appropriate and to be expected. Of course we don't like it. And equally as expected, the recipient of such boundaries will demonize the boundary setter. But just as the parent who tells their child no, Saturn doesn't dislike or think poorly of us for our reaction to the boundaries. It's just that it's a non-issue. Like it or not, these are the rules. You can do anything you desire within the framework of the rules and boundaries, within the bounds. There are so many metaphors to describe this basis of the reality in which you find yourself. There, you. Just turn to first person. All are adequate. All are accurate, and none change the fact that there are boundaries. No matter how much you whine, I will enforce them because I know better. I am wiser than you, and there is no need for me to apologize for this. You simply do not understand the way in which these limitations are necessary. You cannot, from a simple lack of experience, comprehend the why, so it's futile to explain such. It would be like the endless argument of why touching a hot stove is a bad idea. It's a waste of energy to explain. These kinds of talks are useless. Until you actually touch the hot stove and feel the burning sensation, the discomfort of being burned, no amount of words can suffice. So, I present to you a choice. The first part of this pandemic was not really the point. I mean, the benefit of it allowed everyone to understand their level of flexibility. But really, its main purpose was to get the class ready for the lesson. But I can't teach without first eliminating Nope, sorry, I'm reading this raw off of here. But I can't teach without first containing the subject matter. Just as a scientist must set up a controlled environment, the spread of the virus had to be checked in order to establish an understanding of what exactly it is versus is not. Awareness of classes in session had to be established. All students had to be at their desk, ready to learn. So now I present the real test. It is a test not so much for the student as it is an evaluation of humanity's maturity level. I need to determine whether or not the class, the student body as a whole, is ready to graduate to the next level. The results of this test also are not about whether advancement will happen, for the class is advancing. This whole thing is to establish how advancement will be done and what areas meaning higher frequencies, will need to assist in. It's an assessment to inform me of the teaching methodology, nothing more. Okay, so that was the message that came through today. So I'm going to do a reading. Thank you, Saturn, for your words. Thank you for helping us to understand. I'm going to do a reading. We'll see what else we can get, okay? So I'm starting with the Rider-Waite Tarot. And I have other decks that I could use to clarify. Okay. Sorry about the shuffling. I did shuffle these before, but it feels not ready. Okay. What further messages can we get from Saturn? Saturn, what else do you want us to know? Okay. Deck's upside down. Knight of Swords. That's so interesting. The deck wasn't upside down. The first card was upside down. I have my cards all in the same direction, so that's really interesting. The first card to come out is the Knight of Swords in reverse. We're at a standstill. Knight of Swords, Seven of Swords, and the Empress. We're in this standstill because we have not been living right. We have not been manifesting at our optimum. We're going to get some more. Two of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, the Fool, and the Sun. Wow. Okay. The Two of Pentacles is a choice point. So we have a choice point. The old is ending. This comes out next to the Seven of Swords. We've not been living right. This way of living, taking from others, all for self, selfishness, lack of caring for others, all for one, is ending. This is the end of that. It has not served us. It's done. What's coming in from the higher realms, because this is in the position of where the Hierophant is, so from the higher realms, is a new beginning. Our reality is starting again. Starting again in a very light, happy, joyous way. We are moving from, we're leaving this behind and we're moving into this. Now the thing about the Sun card to me is the ending of the Fool's journey. If you look at the tarot, the Fool, the Death card, and the Sun card, all three of them have the little red feather coming out. I don't know if you can see that. This child is blonde. This is him returning to innocence. They're the only three energies. So this is the beginning of the Fool's journey. He goes through the transformation at the 13, the Death card, and he ends up here. A renewed sense of not innocence, not naive, a new sense of excitement for the journey. For the journey. He's on a horse for the journey. The interesting thing about this, and this is what's standing out to me, is that look how big that sun is. This is not spiritual. There's no light coming from above here. There's light on the horizon, but we have been living in darkness way too long. And this that is happening right now on the earth is bringing in our right relationship to light, to higher realms. Okay, moving forward, we have the Page of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and Temperance. Okay, so I don't need to get into that. Okay, so the Page of Cups, this is how we're moving forward. This is in the position of the Chariot. This is going forward with love, going forward heart-based. Yes, that's it. This is the beginning of heart-based living. That's where we're at. That's what the Fool has brought in. It's going to bring us an abundance, a new type of abundance. A real abundance here on earth. These are pentacles. And just like this, juggling back and forth, balancing, the Temperance energy is actually, to me, it's not a this or that energy. It's the alchemy of heart, mind, and matter. So it would be air, water, and earth. We are learning how to mix those three elements of us, of ourselves, in the way of the alchemist, in a way that transmutes the things around us instead of destroys them. Death. There's the Death card. And the Three of Cups. Okay. Going forward, there's a complete transformation of the old. And again, just like I just said with the Temperance card, this card to me represents living from a heart-based place. But there's three here. There's three people here. There is, and it's not the Three of Pentacles, which speaks more to this than this one, but this is finding communities. It's also understanding the right relationship and being joyous in all three things, not just this or that, here or there, good or bad, hot or cold, high and low. There's always a third thing. It's a trinity, and we are starting to bring in that trinity. Starting to bring in our understanding, starting to bring in our sixth sense, our third eye, our intuitive knowing, because that's been left out of our society for way too long. Going forward, we have the Seven of Wands. That is holding fast to our beliefs, like we're going to have to, those of us who are light workers, those of us who want something different, we're going to have to defend ourselves to a degree. It's more of a, no, I don't want the old. Okay? High Priestess and the Knight of Wands. Wow. That's divine feminine and masculine. Okay, this card wants to come out over here. Judgment. Okay. I do what the cards tell me. Okay. What's brought about this change, the spark of this change came from the High Priestess. It comes from that part of us that knows that there's more than just this earthly realm, just the fight here on earth, that there's something else that we need to bring in. That's what in us, that understanding, I would say it's the first wavers, if you subscribe to any of those ideas. They sparked this change. We're bringing this change in. It's coming. This is not something being done to us. Let's just say that. Our best action that we can take is to boldly go forth. This card speaks of spirit. The Knight of Wands knows he's God's messenger. Let's say that. He goes forth boldly to reach a culmination of the balancing of the energies of what was and what is coming. Goes forth boldly to bring a final balancing, a final judgment, a final ending. A final ending to that. That is reconciling and going away. And we are called to answer this call bravely, courageously, intentionally. That's it. Answer this call, know this is what we're going through, what we're doing, what's happening, the Great Awakening, and we are called to step forward. That's kind of why I'm doing this video, we should say. Okay. I love that. This is in the position of the devil, which is as far out as we go on the earth realm. It's at a standstill. It's at a standstill. It's not going anywhere. The devil has been halted so that all of us can get a new perspective and reach some sort of enlightenment. None of that could have happened without this halt, global halt. Okay, so the energy that was sparked by the High Priestess understanding has led to, it's in the Tower, the King of Pentacles in the position of the Tower. Okay, and the Two of Wands. The opulence that we once knew, this is Saturn manifest on Earth. This is man with all of the gifts of Saturn, but without any of the responsibility that Saturn brings. Saturn will bring as many gifts as your right action allows for. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to get the reward. If you are self-focused, if you harm others for your own gain, those gains will be taken away, essentially. That's Saturn. Saturn is Saturn doesn't put up with bullshit. Saturn is like, awesome. These are the rules. Stay in the boundaries. If you're going to break the rules, I'm going to ground you. I think we're grounded. Okay, King of Pentacles. Going forward, this is in the position of the star, so this is the spark of the new. We need to think of things differently. We need this. This is wands. The Two of Wands. It's a choice point. It's a choice point. Again, wow. We have Temperance, the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. These are all choice points. It's our choice. Okay? It's our choice if we're going to, how we're going to build this new world. Okay? What we don't see, Two of Cups. What we don't see coming is this idea of all for me, me, the selfish ways we've lived. That doesn't work. If we want fulfillment, it's caring for others. It's connecting with others. It's taking others into account. It's connection. It's about connection. It's about our relationships with each other. That's in the moon position. That is what's unseen. So here, we just got a little hint. The key to this, and then we're going to pick a card that is in the sun position. So to get to the sun position, we need to see each other, connect with each other. And I feel like since we're still in quarantine, most of us at least, I don't believe that I'm speaking necessarily about physically. But the problem that I think that, no. Even when we are around each other, most of us do not connect closely with each other. We don't connect deeply. These two people are looking directly at each other. They're looking directly into each other's eyes. It's like there's something about actually being present with somebody. In the position of the sun card, we have justice. So this is balance. Things will be more fair. Things will be more balanced, more fair, more just. One thing that amazes me, our world is kind of falling apart right now. Kind of. Quite a bit. Changing. Permanently changed. Forever changed. We know that the society, the way of living that we had built up doesn't work for most of us. The vast majority of us, it doesn't work for. Yet, even as it is crumbling, we want to cling to it. And to that, I would just say, change is the way my life changes. So unless I was completely blissful and euphoric before, then change is a good thing. If it wasn't working for me before, then let it fall away. Let it fall away. Things are going to be more fair in the future. 8 of Swords. And the Moon. Okay, so in the outcome position, this one's come out too. 5 of Cups. 9 of Pentacles. And the Hierophant. Underneath the deck, we have the 3 of Pentacles. This to me is right-sized. It's like, this is me, you, and a higher source. Am I showing you? I, you, higher. Okay. Okay. So we have the moon being in the outcome and is clarified by the 5 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So The moon is, we still aren't sure how this outcome is going to happen. We're still in the dark night of the soul, or dark night of the world, if you will. And in order to, so what that is entailing is we need to see the things that we've done that are regretful. See that what we had doesn't work, but then turn around and see that there's still 2 full cups behind him. All is not lost. The way of life that we had may be lost, but all is not lost. So that will bring us to, there's a reader that reads this card as the Garden of Eden, and I don't generally subscribe to that. It's more that we're living right. We are secure in our beingness. But now, right now, in picking this up, it's like seeing that wasn't working for us, like turning around, seeing the other 2 cups will put us in the Garden of Eden. That's what it feels like to me. But the Garden of Eden has God is there. The whole idea of the Garden of Eden is a Christian, lore thing. I'm not Christian, but I mean, we all know that story. And the Hierophant is about bringing a message forth. It's about having a connection to your higher self, to a higher power, to higher realms, and living like that. So that's where we're headed. But right now, we're still in the regret part. So before I finish up here and end this message, I'm going to pull some runes. I'm going to pull some runes to clarify the 8 of Swords in the Judgment position. Okay. Okay, so clarifying the 8 of Swords is now this is pretty much the exact card, the exact rune that represents this. We are trapped. Oh, that's so interesting because it's on top of this. This was the first energy that came out, the me. Oh, see, so this is the judgment. This is what we're reconciling. This me didn't work. It's entrapping us. It's totally entrapping us. We need to move into caring for one another. Oh, that was another message that had come out in the reading that I did when I first started that reading, when the pandemic first started, was that we're moving into a place, we aren't leaving duality behind. Change that. We aren't leaving polarity behind. But we are leaving the me versus you behind, because now it's going to be me and you. And that's exactly what this says. This, all about me, it didn't work for us. It was trapping us. It doesn't work. It brings on the 10 of Swords. This is not a good situation. So now, it's instead of being us versus them, me versus you, I have, you have not, we're bringing it together. Because now we can both have. It's an understanding that black and white define each other. Hot and cold, you can't have one without the other. It's the same coin. So interesting. Okay, the other runes, it's really trapped us. The other runes that came out, on top of the 2 of Wands, we have Isa on its side, and Gebo. And then how to move forward, we have Berkana on its side. Okay, so this is a standstill. This is the same as the Hanged Man. This is 1, this is 2. 1 is not going anywhere. It's just on its side. It's going away. We are now, this Gebo is about, it's the 2 of Cups, basically. It's sacred union, divine marriage, relationship. That's what this represents. When we have two instead of one, the energies balance. The matrix aligns. This isn't how we're going to get there. We have to get there with each other, not against each other. Rakana on its side here, this is fertility. It's basically the Empress card, which is up there. We're not there yet. It was on its side, but we are moving towards a wonderful new place. This is like the fertile ground. This is the fertile ground upon which our Garden of Eden can be built. So that's all. That's all I wanted to say. So it's not all I wanted to say. I think that the choice that we are going to make, the integrity thing, is about, now that they're opening up things and we're allowed to go out there again, are we going to go out there? You going to gather with 50 people? Or are you going to be wise and protect both you and me by not gathering with 50 people? You going to wear a mask or not? You can believe or not believe that this, the reasons behind this pandemic. You can have conspiracy theories about what caused the pandemic. The fact remains that life is changing. And we need to choose with integrity. Now that our parents are saying, all right, you choose. Are we going to choose with integrity? Act with integrity and care for one another. And that's it. So, namaste. Thank you, and I hope you're well. Bye.